Mighty Number 9. Man, where to start with this game? So, if you don't know, Mighty Number 9 is a game that was funded through Kickstarter in 2013, and it was a project led by Keiji Inafune, who is known for his work on the Mega Man games. When the project was announced, people were really excited about it. We hadn't had a Mega Man game in about 3 years, and every new Mega Man game that was announced was cancelled for some reason or another. So when Inafune announced that he was going to make a spiritual successor to Mega Man, fans rejoiced and were happy to give their money to the project. Personally, I was really happy and excited about the project, and I donated a good amount of money towards it. At the start, everything looked great, and they were able to get the funding, and the fans were on board. But as the months went on, things started to turn. Now a lot happened that made the backers angry. Bad communication, hiring a bad person to run their social media and forums, trying to franchise it before even releasing the initial game, and several delays. The game was originally supposed to come out April of 2015, but was delayed 3 times before the final release date of June 21st, 2016. So it was delayed about a year and 2 months, and honestly, all the bad stuff didn't really affect me. I just kind of stood on the sidelines and thought to myself, well, hopefully it would come out and it'll be amazing. I never really lost hope until the 3rd delay, honestly. The reason being, around the 3rd delay, Capcom released the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and I think that's what made me lose hope. Mighty Number 9 was meant to be a game that would give the fans what Capcom hadn't given them in a long time, a Mega Man game. And while Mighty Number 9 is not Mega Man, it was meant to be a spiritual successor that would capture the feel of it. But Mighty Number 9 was delayed so many times that Capcom, the company that owns the Mega Man IP, and has not treated it well in a long time, was able to release a new Mega Man game before Mighty Number 9's release. And for whatever reason, that was like a punch in the stomach to me. It was like Capcom was saying, that's what you get for putting your faith in another company besides us. And I know the Legacy Collection is not a new Mega Man game, just another port of some of the older games, but at that point it had been 6 years since we got a new Mega Man game, so I'm counting it. But even with all the bad stuff, the hate the game was receiving, and the recently bad advertising.
Stuff that'll make you faster and stronger and make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
I mean, come on, was the game not receiving enough hate already? But with all that in mind, I still have hope for Mighty Number 9, and I really think it could be good. Or at least I hope it can be good. Well, at least I think you shouldn't judge a game until you've played it. So, regardless of what happened before the game was released, or anything else that might have affected my thoughts on the game, I'm going into this game with an open mind. If it's bad because I don't like it, and it's a bad game. If it's good, then I enjoyed it, and it was actually a good game, at least to me. So, let's rock it and find out if this game was actually worth all the drama, or not worth my time at all. Mighty Number 9 was developed by Concept and Inti Creates. They used the Unreal Engine 3, and was directed by Koji Imida. Sorry if I butchered that name, I'm probably going to do a lot of that. The game's soundtrack was composed by Minami Matsume and Ippo Yamada. Keiji Inafune and his team announced the Mighty Number 9 project at the 2003 Penny Arcade Expo as a Kickstarter campaign. The campaign was to raise funds to create a new side-scrolling action game that took the best aspects of the 8 and 16-bit era classics, but modernized it with modern technology, fresh mechanics, and fan input. This game, of course, was Mighty Number 9. The project was meant to involve the fans and provide unprecedented access to seeing the development team at work over the development cycle of Mighty Number 9. Inafune stated that he wanted to make the project one where the fans could get involved, something he tried to do with the canceled Mega Man Legends 3. The campaign launched on August 31st, 2013, and had a target goal of $900,000. On September 2nd, 40 hours after the start of the campaign, the initial goal of $900,000 was met, and the game had its funding. The Kickstarter campaign ended on October 1st, 2013, and the project rose over $3,845,000 with 67,226 backers, and at the time became the 6th most funded project on Kickstarter history. And another additional over $201,000 was obtained via PayPal, which increased the total money collected over $4 million. The project did involve fans to a certain extent, Like, they allowed backers to vote on the design of Beck's partner Call. A poll was made to allow backers to vote on 9 different designs. They were drawn by members of both Inti Creates and Concept. There was also an enemy design contest which allowed backers to design enemies for the game. The game was originally only intended to be for the PC, and with only a few levels, but thanks to the increased amount of money pledged and meeting all the stretch goals, the game secured a full game release on every major console at the time, and several other features like Challenge Mode and Boss Rush Mode was also added. On July 6, 2014, Concept held another crowdfunding campaign so they can make extra game content. They were able to meet their first goal, which was $200,000 for English voice acting, but not their next goal, which was for Japanese voice acting. On October 30th, 2014, Concept tried to hold another crowdfunding campaign for an additional $198,000, which was so they can make a DLC stage to introduce Beck's rival, Ray. This campaign failed, and they didn't get anywhere near their goal. Then on April 28, 2015, it was announced that Concept had teamed up with the publisher Deep Silver. This allowed them to do several things, like adding more features to the game, such as more languages, like French and Japanese, also extra subtitle languages like Spanish, German, and several more. The partnership also allowed them to release physical versions of the game for the PS4, Xbox One, and the Wii U. They were also able to finally complete the DLC, the Ray stages, and added it to the game. The game was originally intended to come out spring of 2015, but was delayed until fall of 2015, somewhere around September. Then it was delayed again until February 2016, and then delayed until sometime later in 2016, which it finally got a June 21st release date. So that brings us to today, with the game officially out. Lots of ups and downs, but the game was finally made and released.
Spoilers!
The story takes place in a peaceful world that has advanced greatly thanks to the inventions of robots and the revolutionary cell technology. In this peaceful world, one of the favorite forms of entertainment is watching robots battle. To improve on the battles, Dr. White created 9 robots called the Mighty Numbers. Then, on what should have been a normal day, robots throughout the city and the country start going crazy, attacking the people and causing chaos and destruction. Beck, the 9th robot of the Mighty series, finds himself in the chaos. As he makes his way through the city, he encounters Dr. White, who informs him the virus is making all the robots go crazy, and he is surprised that he has not been infected. Dr. White then asks Beck to go to Dr. Sanda's lab and rescue him, as he is currently under attack. Beck fights his way through into Dr. Sanda's lab, but before reaching Dr. Sanda, he is intercepted by a giant robot. Beck is able to defeat it, thanks to his ability to absorb cells from other robots. With Sanda saved, he and White discuss that they need help with the situation. Sanda contacts his brother in Japan and requests assistance. Sadly, his brother tells him that he cannot send any help, as he fears that any robot he might send could be infected. Without help coming, they decide to gather samples so they can find out the cause of the affliction that is affecting the robots. So they decide to send Beck, since he seems to be immune. Tasked with collecting the samples, Beck goes after his fellow brothers and sisters in the Mighty Line, who are attacking various important places throughout the city. The order of who Beck goes after is dependent on the player, but I personally like to think that he goes after them in numerical order. Beck first goes after Mighty Number 1, Pyrogen, who's in the middle of attacking an oil refinery. When Beck encounters Pyrogen, he tries to talk him back into his senses, but it's no use. A fierce battle commences between the two. Beck is able to defeat Pyrogen and takes a sample from Pyrogen, curing him in the process and gaining a new ability. After collecting the first sample, Dr. White, while analyzing the data, talks to Dr. Sanda on how the president of Charon Dynamics believes that Dr. Blackwell is behind the virus, as he previously attempted to shut down all the robots, but failed. Sanda is however skeptical on how he could accomplish this if he's currently locked away in jail. Beck continues collecting samples, defeating Mighty Number 2 next, aka Cryosphere, who is attacking a water treatment plant. Then Mighty Number 3, Dynatron, who is attacking a power plant. Mighty Number 4, Seismic, is next, who is attacking a mining facility. Then Mighty Number 5, Battalion, who's trying to raise an army of robots at an abandoned military facility. Mighty number 6, Aviator, is attacking a broadcasting tower. Mighty number 7, Brand, is attacking a highway. And lastly, Mighty number 8, Countershade, who had taken over the Capitol building. Beck manages to defeat all the Mighty Numbers, curing them all of the affliction and collecting new samples and abilities from them. And with each new sample collected, new revelations are discovered, such as Dr. Sonda's assistant Call not being infected as she was shut down for maintenance when the affliction first hit. The biggest revelation to come from collecting and analyzing the data is that the affliction is Dr. White's fault. White recognizes the code and the data collected from a former project named Trinity. Trinity was designed to evolve by assimilating other robots' abilities, but Dr. Blackwell believed it was too dangerous, so he shut down the project. After all the Mighty Numbers are cured and the samples are collected, Sonda and White are contacted by Mr. Graham, the president of Cherry Dynamics. He is calling for help, as his factory is creating robots that are out of control, and he can't stop them. The group decides to split up. Dr. White and the Mighty Robots go to Cherry Dynamics, and Dr. Sonda and Call go to the prison to talk to Blackwell, as they believe he had something to do with the affliction. Call and Sonda break into the prison and talk to Blackwell, who reveals Trinity has the ability to overwrite any robot's programming and take control of them. And he's in jail because the last time she was activated, he stopped her and was sent to jail to cover up the incident. He lastly warns them, if she is already activated, it's already too late. White and the Mighty stop the factory from creating out-of-control robots, and White confronts Graham for reactivating Trinity. Graham, however, blames her creator for everything, and White says that he was her creator, and she was his ultimate failure. But he learned from his mistake, and everything he learned from Trinity, he put into Beck. Graham then recognizes White as Bill Blackwell. At this point, Trinity has grown so powerful, she is absorbing the Battle Coliseum. Beck infiltrates the Coliseum and confronts Trinity. After a grueling battle, Beck is able to stop her and purify her. The Coliseum, now unstable, starts to fall apart, but the Mighty Numbers rescue Beck and Trinity. The game ends with the Mighty celebrating and White giving Trinity a new body. He then confronts his father in jail, telling him that Trinity absorbed Beck's synthetic heart routine, and that brought her under control, and the programming is the future. Blackwell tells him he got lucky, and all he did was clean up his own mess, and warns him that letting robots evolve on their own could be very dangerous. The game then ends, with Blackwell questioning, will Beck be a blessing, or will he be a curse? Mighty Number 9 is a side-scrolling 2D platformer action game. As the player, you take control of a robot named Beck, and fight your way through several levels. Beck is able to run, jump, and shoot energy balls to hurt his enemies. Beck's main ability is the dash, which lets him move faster and allows him to pass obstacles like jumping over large holes or going through small gaps in walls. Also, after Beck has weakened an enemy by shooting them, he can dash through them in order to absorb their substance called cell from them. Absorbing the cell from enemies will at times give Beck temporary enhancements, like increasing speed or giving him stronger energy shots. The dash ability is the game's main mechanic, and when used properly it will allow a player to run through a level extremely fast, which can be very satisfying to a speedrunner. Also, dashing through multiple enemies is called a combo, and a combo, the more combos you make, the more points you get, and adds to your total score, and the more combos you get, the more power-ups you're able to get as well. The game starts off with an intro level to help players get used to the controls. After the intro, there are 8 main stages, which can be played in any order. At the end of each stage, Beck fights one of the 8 mighty robots in a boss battle. After defeating a boss, Beck absorbs their power and gains a new transformation with a unique ability, like ramming forward like a bulldozer or gaining a sword to slice up enemies. After beating the 8 main levels, 2 more levels are unlocked. One is the level where you play as Call, breaking into the prison, and the second one is Beck stopping the factory from creating dangerous robots. Call plays much differently from Beck. She can't absorb self-energy, but she can dash further than him, as she uses a shield to reflect and stop projectiles. She uses a blaster gun that shoots a lot slower than Beck's blaster. And she's very weak, so she can't kill a lot of enemies, so avoiding enemies in her level is the key thing to do. You can also play as Rei, Beck's rival, after you beat her in the DLC level. But I'm gonna do a separate review on that on a later time, because there's a few things I wanted to discuss about it. There are also several other modes in the game, like Boss Rush mode, Challenge mode, where you can play solo or co-op, and the game also has leaderboards. And if you're looking for more of a challenge, you can unlock more harder modes after beating the game. Alright, I have to say, I really enjoyed this game. By no means is it perfect, but I had a really fun time playing it. While the graphics are pretty bad and the voice acting isn't the best, though I honestly think the voice acting isn't too bad. Many of the voice actors did a great job, in my opinion. I think the gameplay is solid, and the overall experience was really good. You know, I got exactly what I expected and wanted from this game, which was a fun, but at times challenging and rewarding experience. And I think it's a decent start to a franchise. It had many ups and downs, but I think there's definitely potential for Mighty No. 9. I hope this game does really well enough so they can make a sequel, but on their own, and greatly improve on this first game. I just can't help to think that some really nice cel-shaded graphics could really improve the overall experience. I mean, graphics are not everything to a game. The TMNT Mutants in Manhattan game looked awesome, but the game was really lacking. However, a visually appealing game can greatly improve how a game is received, and it's just a shame that this game's graphics aren't that good, because I love the character designs and the promotional art, and I feel like some nicer graphics would have greatly improved my experience with the game. Like I said, Mighty No. 9 has a lot of potential, and you can tell that they tried to give this game its own identity, so it wouldn't just be another Mega Man clone. Like, cell absorption was an interesting idea, and Counter Shade's level was driven from any Mega Man level I have ever played, as you had to hunt him down through the level, though I think that idea needs a little refining. Though I will agree that in some ways they failed to give this game its own identity. It did feel like a Mega Man X game, which there's nothing wrong with that because I like the X games, but I think it was different enough to stand on its own. Playing as Call and Ray was also really fun, and I'm glad they made them playable. I also like that when you absorb the power from one of the Mighty Numbers, you got a unique transformation. It's not something new since it's something that the Battle Network games started doing with Soul Unison, but it's something that I've always really liked. I also like that once you beat one of the Mighty Numbers, they would show up in another level to assist you. They don't really affect the game, but I enjoyed seeing them showing up and trying to help. It really helped give them more of a personality. The one thing I don't want anyone to take away from this game, and all the conflict that happened with it, is thinking crowdfunding games is a bad thing and nothing good can come from it. While it's true that there is a risk involved, and the game might come out bad, or might not even come out at all, there's also the possibility that a great game that wouldn't have been possible without crowdfunding could be made. Some great examples of crowdfunding campaigns are Shovel Knight, Hyper Light Drifter, and Shantae 1/2 Genie Hero, though that game isn't out yet. Also, Bloodstain and Yooka-Laylee are looking amazing so far. So, yes, there is risk, but without risk, there is no reward. And we shouldn't let one bad project keep us from helping other people create potentially amazing games. One other thing that should be remembered is that this is an indie game. I know a lot of people think it's a AAA title, but it's not. I mean, it had to raise its money through Kickstarter, and a lot of it went to taxes and whatnot. So, yeah, it had a lot of money for the project, but really, it's an indie title and not a AAA. So, people need to remember that when judging this game. That being said, I still haven't received all my rewards from backing the game, and I'm kinda annoyed that the backers didn't get a copy of the game before the general public. But, like I said, risk. There are a lot of things I liked about the game, and many that I did not. Like, why is it that when you get an energy tank thing and you die, it disappears? Also, I think we're past that era where you get killed by touching one obstacle like spikes or these dumb purple electric wires or whatever they are in this game. But overall, it was a good experience, and I enjoyed the time I spent playing it. So, do I recommend this game? Yeah, of course I do, and I'm hella glad I donated to this project. While a fair amount of people won't like this game or just hate on it because of all the drama that went into creating it, I still believe it's a good game. Not a spectacular game, but a good one. And it's well worth playing it if you enjoy old school side-scrollers or Mega Man games, and I really just thought it was a fun experience overall. Well, that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Like, if you played the game, what did you think? Or, my name is in the credits, eat that Gorfy, I win. Alright, now this adventure over, it's time to watch some battles at the Coliseum. See you on the next one, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you like this video, check out some of our other videos, like the cool Overwatch review my bro Gorfy made. And again, thanks for watching.